Governor Gavin Newsom has been pushing to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. One way is by going solar and advocating for electric vehicles. But Ronald Stein, an author and energy consultant, told California Insider's CMAC Karami oil production in the state was huge.
Back in '95, California and Alaska imports accounted for about 95% of our demands within the state. That 5% dependency on foreign countries has increased. Today it's almost 60%.
He explains why cutting back on fossil fuel doesn't seem as plausible as one would hope. Last week, the California Air Resources Board approved an unprecedented plan to, quote, shift the world's fourth largest economy from fossil fuels to clean and renewable energy. The plan aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 85% and reach carbon neutrality by 2045. He says Newsom's push to reduce in-state oil production would put us more dependent on foreign countries, and importing oil to California currently causes a significant amount of emissions.
The irony of the whole thing is he's trying to reduce emissions here because he sees California as a bubble. He wants to clean up the bubble. The oil being transported by oil tankers from Saudi Arabia here, their annual emissions, because they use a low-grade fuel, the annual emissions from the tankers bringing in all that oil every day, 365 days a year, the tanker emissions is double the entire mobile fleet of California.
The entire mobile fleet he refers to is all the cars, trucks, and various modes of transportation in the state. Stein says the state sends $150 million a day to the oil-rich countries. In addition, the state is also making it harder for oil companies to operate.
We got a lot of environmental laws, the low carbon fuel standard, cap and trade, and each year they get harder and harder to meet the emission requirements. It's more expensive. So the California refineries, they incur the most cost to manufacture the fuels.
When it costs more to operate, the costs get passed down to consumers. Last year, 2 oil refineries shut down. Now they are only making renewable diesel. In Northern California, only the Chevron Richmond Refinery and Marathon Petroleum Corporation remains. Stein explains that they are the only ones remaining in Northern California that manufacture aviation fuel for all the airports.
They're so motivated to go to zero emissions, they're forgetting the one basic fact. The world populated from 1 billion to 8 billion in less than 200 years. And ironically, right after the discovery of oil. You know, all the 6,000 products we have in our daily lives for, communications, electronics, the medical industry, on and on and on, has allowed society to develop. Now we got 8 billion people on this earth. There's a lot of challenges. They talk about climate change. I think it's more of a climate challenge than a climate change. But the challenges are how you're going to preserve these 8 billion people.
In the long run, without any changes, he foresees supply shortages and inflation as oil supply cannot keep up with demand.